hate maths, or maths is too hard, is something a lot of us can relate to. But did you know a subset of the maths hater population have mathematical anxiety, a debilitating negative emotional reaction to maths? But what is anxiety and what causes it? Welcome to Scribble Science, the podcast comic that explores the neuroscience behind mental illness to break down the stigma surrounding mental health. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. We all experience anxiety. However, people with anxiety disorders experience persistent, excessive worry. As a group, anxiety disorders are the most common class of mental illnesses, with 1 in 9 people having an anxiety disorder in any given year. But what is going on in the brain of someone with an anxiety disorder? To understand that, we need to understand a little bit about how the brain works. The brain is made up of 86 billion neurons, which are cells that fire electrical signals. These neurons come together in complex ways to form circuits, or pathways of neurons that are connected. Neurons mainly talk to each other using chemical signals called neurotransmitters. One neuron releases the neurotransmitters, and the next can detect this chemical signal using special proteins called receptors. In the brain, 2 neurotransmitters do most of the work. Glutamate excites neurons and makes them more likely to fire, while GABA, an inhibitory neurotransmitter, slows or stops these electrical signals. If you think of the electrical signals moving along neurons as cars moving along a road, these neurotransmitters are like the accelerators or the brakes. Glutamate makes the electrical signals go faster, while GABA makes them slow down or stop altogether. Glutamate and GABA must be kept in balance to ensure proper brain function, just like you have to balance the brake and the accelerator while driving. If we look at the brain, there are lots of different regions that perform different roles. For an anxiety disorder, we are interested in the amygdala, this almond-shaped part of the brain that is involved in processing fear. In people with anxiety, the amygdala is hyperactive, leading to an increased state of fear. But why is it hyperactive? Scientists think that in people with anxiety, there is not enough GABA in the amygdala. This means the balance between glutamate and GABA is disrupted. There is more excitation in the amygdala. Or, going back to our car analogy, there is too much acceleration, so the amygdala fires too much. This creates a persistent state of fear. This is why some anti-anxiety drugs, known as benzodiazepines, aim to restore the balance of GABA and glutamate. They do this by increasing the strength of GABA receptors. This means a smaller amount of GABA can have the same brake effects. In reality, the changes in the brain that occur during an anxiety disorder are a lot more complicated than this simple imbalance between GABA and glutamate. Scientists think that, as well as an overactive amygdala, people with anxiety disorders also have changes in the way their brains control and respond to fear. There are also many neurotransmitters beyond just glutamate and GABA that affect anxiety, including serotonin. Finally, there are other complicating factors, like the fact that anxiety disorders often coincide with depression. Nearly 1/2 of people who are diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with anxiety. But what is clear is that people that have anxiety disorders, whether it's about maths, snakes, or social interactions, are not just scaredy cats. People can't just snap out of it and stop the excessive stress and worry that characterizes this illness. Instead, people with anxiety have real changes in the way their brains work that make them feel fearful and worried in normal situations. Changes which are as real as a blocked artery in a heart attack. But unlike a heart attack, these changes can be overcome. The brain can be rewired either through drugs or therapy, and the anxiety disorder can be stopped. For more information about anxiety or to get help, go to any of these websites, the links of which are in the description. Alternatively, talking to a trusted friend or family member or your local GP or counsellor is a great way to get help. Thanks for watching Scribble Science. Remember to like, comment and subscribe for more neuroscience goodness.